sitting in with my friend David Coulthurst, and we are talking about the world's largest trivia contest. Going to talk to David about the big announcement that came this past Sunday night, in that David is going to be succeeding Jim Oliva as the Oz, or the writer of the world's largest trivia contest. Now, Dave, this is being billed as your first live interview. But has anyone contacted you already for comments, and where can people read those stories?
I actually had a couple of requests, and I thought the timing was wrong, because really the first part of this is Jim has the light in the tunnel. He's stated that he has a secession plan. It's just the time to focus on the next phase. It wasn't last week, Monday,
Right.
to me. And I thought the best place to start this would be here on 90 Things.
So this is the premiere interview, the first words of Dave Coulthurst since the announcement. None of those lame journalists that write newspapers contacted you for comment or anything?
We're just going to use, Lou Scannon? Is that your alter ego?
Yes, Lou Scannon is getting the dibs here. So I might win a Pulitzer for this, Dave. All right.
Sure, yeah, okay.
This is getting the scoop now.
If you start asking Pulitzer-level questions, I'm out of here.
It's right. Starting Sunday night, have you seen an increase in friend requests on Facebook or other followers on social media?
Yes. My phone actually got hot in my pocket in the minutes after the tears, after things started getting into the Beatles cool down before the actual scores started coming up. My phone, I think, was almost melting.
Well, I was standing about 10 feet away from you, and I saw you grabbing it right away, so people were congratulating you.
There was that. There were no threats yet.
No threats?
I expect those will come.
Now, with that said, Jim did hold off until the end of the contest on Sunday night before making this announcement. Kind of dropped a bomb on everyone. And now this is something you obviously had the information in your pocket the whole time. I sat there with you all weekend long. How difficult was it for you to not let your team know about this announcement and your plans for the next few years?
That was very hard. The implications for my old team, the Beer Pigs, who I've been with for about 30 years, was something that I was very concerned about. You guys have meant a lot to me, and we made a lot of comparisons to Sergeant Holka. I'm a big toe.
You're the big toe?
Yeah, and my point, I guess, there is, you can live without a big toe. No one does a big toe transplant so you can continue. I mean, they even take off your toe and put it on your thumb if you lost a thumb.
If you need, yes.
This is traditional freak show going off on tangents that make no sense after a while. But, yeah, it was tough. I sat there knowing that this was my last time playing with playing any contest, because now I really can't play any of the contests. And spending some time with friends who didn't know that it was the end. That was a little bit poignant throughout the entire contest.
But you did not let on. Nobody in that room, I can assure you, knew what was going to happen. And we were all kind of stunned in silence at the moment.
If only the team stayed that quiet when a question is being read.
First rule of trivia, listen to the question. So, Dak, how long ago were you first approached on this subject of taking over the contest? Now, was there persuading? Did it take some time, or did you just say yes right away?
Well, it happened long enough to really start learning some things, first off, I'll say. I mean, and the exact timing and such is lost in the craziness of this whirlwind that I've kind of been experiencing, but months, more than a year. And there are so many things going on beyond going behind the curtain to write the contest that's what I've been doing. I've been learning a little bit around the station, around the studio. Some of the logistics vastly overwhelm the question writing part. This may shock, but I still have not talked to Jim about actual questions yet.
Right.
I mean, I have not been behind that curtain. The announcement means that now I can go back there, but I have no knowledge of what he does yet as far as writing questions. Now, fortunately, I'm a writer by trade. I think I can pick that part up, and over the course of playing trivia for 43 years of my life, I've written my share of questions for the teams that I've been on. So I think that part will come along.
And you've been playing for quite a while. Jim has been in his role, going strong for 41 years as the Oz, as the writer of the contest. Dak, how old are you right now? How many years do you hope to be in this new role?
I am 52. I will not be doing this as long as Jim.
No?
That I can say. Not many. I won't be saying many definitive things today. That I can say.
That you can definitely say not 41 years, but again, like you said earlier, no timeline, no big plans. Things right now are going to be same as it ever was. But
yes.
Let's talk about you.
Yeah. Okay.
How'd you get started?
I might know these answers. Hopefully.
This is the easiest one of all. Just tell us, how'd you get started in trivia?
Okay, I was 10 years old. It was accidental. On the local Coulthurst side of my family, my extended family, we had 9 cousins, and I was one of the 3 smack dab in the middle that were all about the same age. And my cousin Scott we used to spend all of our weekends in the summer together, first off. But my cousin Scott's birthday was right around trivia time. And his older brother had a trivia team in '76 that I played on for, I think, a few hours. I have vague memories. I remember the logo. I remember the name. That kind of thing. It was called Evergreen, I think, was his team. And maybe that was a different year.
That was the team name.
Yeah, the team
Okay.
name. And, you know, aunts, uncles, Grandpa Wesley, who used to sell Christmas trees on Washington Avenue. I've got a lot of heritage in the town, so I was playing with family for a long time. As my cousin Jeff went off into the Army and served overseas, I took on the family team, which became the high school team, which eventually became the dorm team at Burroughs Hall. As we aged out of the dorms, a lot of us were hockey fans on the team at that time, and it was a natural you were a hockey fan, but not in Burroughs. Marv was a hockey fan, not in Burroughs, and that's kind of how the merger with the Beer Pigs, who had a better name than we did in Burroughs Hall, happened, and ever since it's been quite a ride.
I do remember you had changing team names, one of my favorite being, I thought this was a book sale?
Oh, I thought this was a book sale.
Tell me about that. How did that come about?
I think the year before, our name was, Hey, That Thermometer's Not For Your Mouth. Pause for effect.
Right.
And somebody walked in and said,
But you're in the basement
we're
of
in the basement of Burroughs Hall.
Burroughs Hall, and
Yes.
you've got
It's a
all
public
your
area.
books.
Books are out everywhere. We had phone line strung down from dorm rooms above. Lots of people packing in the place, and somebody walked in, and then just a look on their face of confusion. After a while, they figured out it wasn't what they thought it was. They said, "Oh, I thought it was a book sale," and so that became our name the following year. Yeah, my team when I was at my cousin Jeff's house was What. We were the original What.
Okay.
The following year there were Why, Who, Where, and if you can imagine, back in those days,
Yep.
you didn't have team ID numbers.
Right.
They said, "What's your team name?" We said, "What?" And they said, "What's your team name?"
Well,
That's
what?
correct, etc. Who's on first? We had a little fun, and sure enough, the following year, Who, Why, How, whatever came along, and then guess what? Team ID numbers. So hey, we're sorry.
So have you talked to Scott and Jeff? Have you given them the news?
I have not. I know their mother was talking to my father.
Okay.
But I've been catching up. I mean, this has been a crazy week.
All right. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Dave, would you rather, you know this game, would you rather?
It's how we used to stay awake back in
That's
Burroughs
right.
Hall, play this game.
Dak, would you rather be the Oz of the world's largest trivia contest or have made it to the hot seat on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh, that is a cruel question, JD.
That's why I'm here asking the tough questions. Working towards my Pulitzer.
Working at Lou, you dirty dog. Yeah, that's a cruel question. 2 opportunities to crash and burn the spotlight. Who would want that in their life, right?
Right.
Well, I do wish I would have been a 0.02 of a second faster on one particular fastest finger, and a second and a half faster on another, and half a second faster on a third. Of course, I would only need to get on the hot seat once to get there. But yeah, it was fun just being there and meeting Regis and doing all those fun things. God, almost 20 years ago now.
It was a good experience.
It was a good experience. It was fun. But I guess why can't I have both? Why couldn't I have changed fate and done both? Maybe asking for too much. Maybe we should.
It's the dilemma of life. Looking back on what could have been, but you're on the cusp of what is going to be. And I expect good things for you coming around, Dave. We have a lot more questions as we talk to Dave Coulthurst this morning, the person who has been selected to fill the shoes of Jim Oliva in writing the world's largest trivia contest. Main thing that we're going to take away from this is it's the same as it ever was. Nothing has changed. Nothing big in the works going to be changing. He's going to be, as Jim said the other night, sitting in a chair in the corner of the room, just observing.
I might not even be able to talk. I'm just hoping that it's a squeaky chair so I can communicate in some way and make them laugh as I watch. But yeah, we're going to have some fun.
We're going to have some more of the interview with Dak this morning as the fabulous Saturday Morning Freak Show continues. It's 9 minutes past 9 o'clock. We're on until noon. Dave's going to play some music. I'm going to play some music. We'll talk to Dave some more. Let's get back into it. We are Central Wisconsin's only source of real classic rock and roll.